Elias moved into the Victorian estate on the edge of Blackwood not because he liked the architecture, but because it was silent. As a writer, silence was his currency. But the silence in this house wasn't empty. It felt heavy, like a held breath. On the third night, he heard it. A soft, rhythmic thud drag. Thud coming from directly above his bedroom. The attic. He climbed the pull-down ladder, his flashlight cutting through dust motes that looked like tiny, frozen insects. The attic was empty, save for a single high-backed rocking chair sitting in the center of the floor. It wasn't moving. But as Elias turned to leave, he saw a small, leather-bound diary tucked under the floorboards. Elias began to read. The diary belonged to a woman named Clara who lived there in 1924. She wrote about the echo, a phenomenon where the house began to repeat her own actions back to her, but with a 5-second delay. If she dropped a spoon, she would hear the sound of it hitting the floor 5 seconds later, even though the spoon remained still in her hand. Elias laughed it off as a story theory of a crumbling mind, but then he coughed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From the dark corner of the room, the exact sound of his cough echoed back, identical in pitch, identical in rasp. But Elias hadn't moved. The delay began to shrink. The house wasn't just echoing sounds anymore. It was echoing presence. He would see his own shadow turn a corner a few seconds after he did. He would smell his own coffee in the kitchen. Before he had even boiled the water, he realized the theory behind the haunting. The house was a temporal mirror. It was catching up to him. Clara's final entry was a single, frantic sentence. When the echo meets the voice, the reflection takes the lead. Elias ran for the front door. He grabbed the handle. 5 seconds early, he heard the door lock. He tried to scream, but the sound of his scream came from behind him before his own throat could even tighten. Elias turned around. Standing at the top of the stairs was Elias. But this version was sharper. Its eyes didn't have the tired bags of a rider. They were bright, hungry, and perfectly still. The echo moved first. It walked down the stairs with a fluid grace. Elias tried to move, but he found he was stuck in a rhythmic thud drag. Thud drag, movement, forced to follow the path the echo had just taken. The echo opened the front door, stepped out into the sunlight, and waved to the neighbors. It was living his life 5 seconds in the future. Elias was now the reflection, trapped in the attic, waiting for the next sound to repeat. He sat in the rocking chair. Thud drag somewhere. A new owner was pulling down the attic ladder.